Not start to. Okay, I can see some fire emojis. Okay, I'm saying I like the energy here. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Okay, so we're having Miss Temilade. I'm particularly excited about this session because I feel like she's a very, very passionate person because I cannot imagine someone going into being going into environmental health sciences and being so passionate. She has won so many awards. She has her own establishment. So I'm really, really excited about this session. So I want us to I want to prepare our minds, ensure that you're with your writing books, your pen, ready to actually ask questions because I feel like the Q&A session is actually one of the most important sessions of every conference because that is the time you can actually get personalized answers to your question to your life issues what you're facing. So please prepare your questions and be ready to receive everything like our last speaker said yesterday said that you should be like a parachute, be ready to open, let your mind be open to learn. That's the only way you can actually improve. So I'm actually encouraging everybody here, please be ready to learn, be ready to be open. So while we're still waiting for her, because I don't think she's not yet here. Yes, while we're waiting for her, I would like people to share their experiences basically, and I'll be
Okay,
calling people.
Precious, she's here already.
Oh, she's here already. Wow. Okay, so I will call on Leader Olaronke to be the citation then. Leader Olaronke, are you ready for us? Okay, Leader Olaronke, are you here?
Temilade Salami is a Nigerian environmentalist, circular economy enthusiast, and marine biologist with over 4 years' experience leading on various youth-led environmental sustainability initiatives across Nigeria. She is the Executive Director of Eco Champions, one of Nigeria's largest networks of professional environmentalists, leading environmental change through tree planting, ocean conservation advocacy, plastic waste management, and environmental education in Nigeria. Her contributions to environmental policies and practice have been deservingly recognized, having been named as the 2020 Nigeria's 25 Under 25 Leader on Energy and Sustainability, 2018 La SEPA Ambassador Against Noise Pollution, 2018 Idea Hub Africa Talent of the Future, and the 2018 US Consulates Carrington Youth Fellow. Temilade also leverages her creative writing and poetic prowess in creating artistic awareness of the need for sustainable green consumerism and proper waste management. She has written 2 books and believes that if children are well informed about taking care of the environment at an early age, they'll be able to make informed decisions as they grow. Ladies and gentlemen, Leaders Fort Companies, please present to you Temilade Salami.
Oh my God. So with a resounding round of applause, I would like us to welcome no other than the exceptional, the passionate, the ever smiling Executive Director Temilade Salami as she talks on uniqueness as a leader. You're welcome, Ma. You have the floor, Ma.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well done. And I wanted to say thank you for having me on this platform. It's a great honor to be speaking to world leaders because I'm sure there are many, many of them in this, on this session. Thank you once again, Leaders Fort Company. And so today I'm going to be talking about leveraging your uniqueness as a leader. And I will just be talking on 5 points. So you might want to list them so that you can follow through. So in order to leverage your uniqueness as a leader, you need to do 5 things. You need to be aware or conscious that you are unique. The second thing you need to do is to lead from your strengths and also show evidence of your strengths. Don't worry, I just want to run through it and then I'm going to break them down one after the other. Please kindly confirm that you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, ma'am.
Okay, great. So the first thing I said is be aware or conscious that you are unique. Lead from your strengths and show evidence of your strength. The third one is stay focused and consistent. The fourth one is tell your story and build trust or credibility. And then the last one is invest in your growth. So I'm going to take it one after the other, and I'm going to be breaking it down, also using my personal stories and experience. So when they're talking about leveraging your uniqueness as a leader, I believe that everyone who God has created, who is currently on this call, where no one is the same, we are different. Even if you're a twin, everyone comes with different, strengths. Everyone comes with different skills, abilities, and so on. Yes, you can acquire some skills as you grow, personally or professionally. But from birth, everyone looks different, right? The hair on your head, the way you look, the way you carry yourself, everyone is very unique. So you need to come to the terms that you are not anybody else, right? And this is not like a bragging right sort of, but it's just to make you conscious that if you try to fit into a box that you are not meant to be in, you're going to struggle, right? So you need to first be conscious of who you are, be conscious of your uniqueness as a person, even before thinking of your uniqueness as a leader, right? So you need to understand that this is who I am. My name is Bola, and this is Bola. There's no other Bola in Nigeria, right? I know that people, when you hear people say things like that, it sounds like they're bragging, but sometimes you need to come to the consciousness that that is the truth. Yes, there might be many Bolas, but this particular Bola, there's no other Bola like this. So the second thing I'm going to talk about is to lead from your strength and also show evidence of your strength. So for example, I run an organization called Eco Champions, and I can do a lot of things, right? I can write, I can do copywriting, I can do designs on Canva, I can work on documents, I can write essays, I can do a lot of things, but there are some things that I just find unnecessary for me to do, right? Because these are not my strengths. Naturally, if you tell me to write a copy for maybe an event, maybe leaders for company want to do an event, leveraging your uniqueness as a leader. If you want me to give you breakdown of how the event should go, the kind of speakers you should call, the way you should write your copies on Instagram, I'm very good at it, right? It's going to come naturally to me. But there are some things that I'm going to struggle to do, not because I cannot do them, but it doesn't just come naturally. And I'm sure that everyone on this call has just that one thing that even if they wake you up from sleep, 7 hours sleep, if you wake up, you can do it without grumbling. The way our parents say that there are some things that you do as a child and you find it very easy to do. Nobody has to tell you that you should do this thing, but you enjoy doing them. And I think that's what many people call passion, right? But one of the things that I also want to say is that when you are leading from your strengths, understand that it doesn't mean that you have to do so many things at the same time. So if you're in a team I believe that as a leader, you are not leading yourself alone. So I believe you have a team, or even if you don't have a team, you are volunteering in an organization, or you are in school, you're in class, and a leader cannot just be leading his or herself, right? So you are in between, a group of people. So you need to understand that you cannot do what everybody is doing. And it's just everybody, you cannot be a doctor, a lawyer, a pharmacist all at the same time. It doesn't just work. You're going to get burnt out, right? So you need to understand that you are very unique and you lead from your strength. So what's that one thing that you can do perfectly? Sometimes it doesn't even have to be perfect, but you know that off your head, if they wake you up, this is what I can do. And I can sit down there for 6 hours. Some of us, I know that we like to, press our phones, and we can do that for so long. Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, soft skills, or even skills that, you have like naturally, your talent. Some people is singing, some people, how to put events together. You can do voiceover. They invite you to speak somewhere. It comes very natural to you, right? So rather than focusing on what you don't have, focus on what you have and then leverage it and build it up. So for example, you know how to speak, you know how to do public speaking, regardless of how good you are or naturally talented, you think God has given you the skill, like people say, like is naturally imbued, right? You still need to polish it up. And then there's somebody else who knows how to do, let me say, voiceover, or the person knows how to do designs, or the person just knows how to do something else. There's no need to try to fit in into the box of the other person. So this is you know how to do public speaking. Why don't you go for public speaking classes? Why don't you enroll for events? Why don't you volunteer to, take lead to MC programs, rather than focusing on somebody else's work or what it seems like they're achieving? Because, we are in new age, like I call it, Instagram age, where you just open your phone, you click Instagram on Twitter, there's somebody doing one thing or the other, and then all of a sudden your focus just shifts, and then you start to think that you don't have anything. I always say this, I don't think that there is anybody that God created without talent, without, inbuilt skills. At least there will be that one thing that if you wake up, you will gladly do. You might not have discovered it, maybe because you think it's casual, or some of you are just doing it casually, so you don't place so much importance on it, right? So you need to lead from your strength. So this is what I know how to do. For example, in my team, we just did recruitment for volunteers, and one of the things that I can do very well, like I said, is copywriting. I can tell you that, okay, if you put this word on this design, people are going to apply for this thing, change it like this, appeal to their emotions. And on the other end, I can also do designs on Canva. But then I thought to myself, let me do the ones that, I can play very well with my strength. The other ones I'm going to outsource, right? And I'm giving you in this context, so that you can understand that you don't need to do everything to be a leader. In fact, one of the best, what describes a leader the most is the ability to also lead other people to do the things that they are doing. So if you are in an organization, or you are in school, or you're in any setting in your workplace, and you are the only one that is doing so good, you are the only one who is doing so well in your team, and you are leading them, there's a problem, right? Because you should leverage your strengths while you allow others to also, shine forth and do the things that they are supposed to do, right? Sometimes you can actually do those things, but they don't come naturally to you. So why not just allow somebody else to do it, right? And the other part of the second point is to show evidence of your strength. So for example, you say you do public speaking. I'm just using public speaking as an example, right? You do public speaking, but we've never seen any of your videos. You've never told us like events that you've attended. We don't have track record of maybe courses that you've taken. I'm not saying that you start buying courses or taking courses, online and all those things, but I'm just saying that there should be receipt for your growth, right? There should be evidence for your strength. This is what you know how to do best. When you get to the stage, you are going to do it on 100%, right? This is how people know that, okay, now I know this person for this thing. I'm not sure that I can, I really wanted to ask people questions, but it feels like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, you
No,
can you can actually ask questions.
I wanted to say something. So if I say Brother Shaggy now, I'm very sure that many people will say almost the same thing about him. Like when I say Brother Shaggy, what comes to mind?
comedy.
Comedy, great. If I say Timidakulu, what comes to mind? Obviously, singing, right? So these people have they've leveraged their strength to the point where even if there are 100 people, at least 90% are going to say, nah, if it's comedy, give it to Brother Shaggy. If it's singing, give it to Timi Dakolo. Funny thing is, Brother Shaggy can know how to sing, but can he sing like Timi Dakolo? At least, no, I've not seen any of it. Maybe if he decides to start singing tomorrow, right? I'm just trying to give you perspective of things so that you don't live where God has placed you, where you are supposed to be, and build on it, and then now move to somebody else's field and then start doing what you're not even supposed to do in the first place. So imagine that you are building house, you're building a 3-story building. This is your house, and then opposite your house, there's somebody else who is building his or her own, let me say, 2-story building also. And then as you're laying your blocks, you keep leaving your house, going to that other person's place to go and check the progress of our own house. Okay, have you added your roof sheet? Have you done your painting? And your own house is lying there, nothing is going on. You're not laying the blocks, you're not building anything. And that's what is currently happening right now in my generation. I say my generation because all of us, we are in the same, I want to assume that we're in the same age range, right? You know, you leave the things that are important that you've been building for so long, and then all of a sudden you just move to another thing. And you know, people are so proud of it that they have so many experiences on their CV. So for example, you've worked here, you've worked here, you've worked here, but all the companies you've been doing different things. So you've been event planner in company A, you've been singer in company B, you've been editor in company C. When it's time to employ you in another company, they want to tally the experiences, but they always say it in pidgin. The thing no they gel, right? Because you're a singer here, you're a producer here. They used to say that stay one place, right? I believe I'm speaking to Gen Zs and people understand my language. I can speak English, but I'm trying to calm down to a level.
We
So
understand. We
yeah,
understand.
so just, you know, focus on your strengths and build on your strength. Don't leave your own house, the food you are making to go and peep in another person's food and get your own food burnt. Is very, very important that you focus on building on your strength rather than, you know, spying into people's life, spying into people's, you know, progress, trying to do what you are not supposed to be doing in the first place. Then the third one is stay focused and consistent. So this is one thing I always tell people. And I think if there's anything that people know me for, is the fact that if you knew me like 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, while I was in Unilag, you know that I was always talking about the environment. Yes, was I doing other things? I was doing poetry. I can do so many things, right? But there was just one thing that was sticking out that was very important and, you know, was the loudest, which was like the environmentalist part of me. And consistently over the years, I have built on that so that if anybody in Nigeria wants to ask that, give me a young person who is working in the environmental sector, they can mention my name, right? But if I've been here, I've been there, today I will do, let me say graphic designer, tomorrow I will do environmentalist, the next time I'll go and do leadership coach. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not making sense. You're not even building your track record that way so that people can even mention your names in rooms that are very important, right? I always tell people that most of the opportunities that I've gotten, they've been based on, there's one girl somewhere, oh, I think she's good for this opportunity. She's, you know, she's doing well in this field. Give me a young person in Nigeria who is doing this thing, at least I'm not even bragging. My name will be like 1 to 5, right? And this is just to show you that building track record is very, very important, right? You need to build track record so that people don't start recommending you for different things that doesn't fit into your space and then you start getting angry. So you need to stay focused and consistent because consistency is a spice of life. If I have 1 million naira right now and there are two people, person A runs a, let me say, pastry business, like a cake business, and has been running the business for 5 years consistently. And the person has moved from maybe behind her backyard to her kitchen, from her kitchen to one shop. Then she wants to scale her business. And then there's person B. She was a singer in year 1. In year 2, she was a writer. In year 3, she was people should give me all those professions. She was graphic designer. In year 5, she was, you know, she just joined everything together. And then year 6, she decided that, okay, well, I want to start cake business today. If you are in my shoes, who are you going to give the money to? I guess you're going to give it to person A, right? Because the person has track record. You know that this person has been in cake business. The person has seen the worst and has seen the best. The person's cake has spoiled before in the oven and the person's cake has been delivered to their clients in the best way possible. The person has experience and track record. So I know that if I give my money to this person, the chances are so high that she will handle it well. But this other person who has, you know, gone to different places and she has done so many things and she's not focused or bringing those things to one point, I'll be scared to give her my money, because I can give her the money now. She'll wake up tomorrow and say, hi Temi, I don't think I want to do this cake business again. My cake just got burnt. The person does not even have capacity to, scale and build on whatever I've given her. So it's very important that, you stay consistent and focused. And that's why sometimes it's so hard for people to even make recommendations for you, because they don't even know where you fall. They don't know what you are doing. People, and there's one word that people always use to cover it up: I'm passionate about. Yes, passion, like Larry Shepard used to say, passion is key, but capacity is king. That one thing that you're passionate about, how are you building up on it, right? So it's very important that you stay focused and consistent. If there is one thing you've, highlighted that this is what you want to do, just go after it. And there are some people that have so many talents. Excuse me. There's some people that have so many talents. For example, like there's so many things that I do: poetry, design, but always find a meeting point for them. So for example, I do poetry for the environment. I run an environmental organization. Can you guys see how the whole thing is getting intertwined? So it's very important that even if you are doing so many things and you think you can handle it, no problem, but make sure that they have one focus point, right? It is very, very, very important that they have one focus point, so that you don't get recommended for a carpenter's job when you are a plumber or a fashion designer. It's very important. So you are the one who is going to set your, people call it branding, your tone, your story. You are the one who is going to set it out, right? So the fourth one I'm going to talk about is tell your story and build trust or credibility. Now, I know there's this surge of, coming online to come and say things that you are not, or say things that you've not achieved. So for example, it's quite common in the NGO space. You've reached out to, maybe you do outreach, you've reached out to like 500 people. You now come on Instagram to say, I've reached out to 1,000 people. We shared food in 1 million places. It's not really about the numbers, or yeah, numbers are awesome, but what's the quality of the work that you have done? And can we really trace this, your evidence, to your story? Is this your evidence and story? Like, is it correlating? Do you understand? Because people are watching, right? If you think people are not watching, people are watching. There are some people that what they come on Instagram to do is to come and analyze your post. I don't think that's good, Sha, except you want to give me opportunity, or you want to give me grants. So you need to make sure that you are telling the right story. Now, in the process of telling your story, you don't need to be, maybe, the way you say, last year I was staying in 1-bedroom flats. Now this year I'm staying in 3-bedroom flats. That's not the kind of story that I'm talking about, right? Put out things that are substantial. Take people through the process. One thing I always tell people is that if you go to my Instagram page, the reasons why I will not delete my old pictures, right? I don't know why people do it. You go all the way down to delete your picture. Me, I like track record, so that nobody will come next 3 years to tell me that I just jumped from nowhere, right? So if you go to my page, you can literally see how I have grown from the time I was in 100 level to the time I was in 200 level to 300 level to 400 level to 500. I mean, no 500 level to my service here, to my service here in Abuja, right? To the time I got my scholarship, that I was doing my business. So there's track record. So you cannot just say that, Temi jumped from somewhere, right? That's why I always tell people, all those pictures and details you are deleting, they are very important. The details and pictures that you're deleting, they are very, very important. You want to keep your IG feed very clean, but you forget that there's times are coming, before, like when people want to maybe support your business or your, let me say, NGO, they will ask for your website. Yeah, they still ask for website. These days, if you notice, people ask for your Instagram handle, your WhatsApp handle, your LinkedIn, and all those your social media handles. Why do you think they're asking for handle? They want to go and check your track record online now. Maybe what you're saying in your application is not tallying with who you really are online. right? So all those pictures you are deleting, why are you deleting them? Just leave them. You cannot be ashamed of where you are coming from. So if you go to my Instagram page and everything is looking like really nice up there, I'm very sure that by the time you start scrolling down, you can see that there's track record. Like I didn't just jump out from somewhere. I've told my story in a way that nobody can say that I just emerged from nowhere. Do you understand? So there's proof, there's evidence of growth. It's very, very important. So one of the ways that you can do this is to, tell your story. And telling your story can be as simple as, you're still in school. Maybe what really happened that was significant in class today, you can just share. I always tell people, for every level that you are, there's always somebody behind you. Now, when I say behind you, I don't mean like the person is lesser than you, right? I mean, there's always somebody behind you who wants to learn from you, or sometimes your peer who is just right beside you, right? Who wants to learn from you. So don't think that your story is not important. Your story is very important. If you're 20 years old, there's one teenager looking up to you. If you're 30 years old, there's one Temi looking up to you. If you're 40 years old, there's one Temi looking up to you. So it's very important that you tell your story, because if you don't, you are probably depriving other people of, knowledge and things that they can actually get from you, insights to not make the kind of mistakes that you actually made. Do you understand? So it is very crucial and very important that you tell your story, and don't lie, because people will know. It's even very easy to discover these days if you lie, right? So build trust and credibility. How can you build trust? This one is very important. It's not every time that what you see online, you make comments, you abuse people, you insult people online, and you just think, yeah, it's Instagram, it's WhatsApp. I mean, it's you can't even do it on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is such a formal platform, right? So you need to be very, very intentional about the kind of things that you do, because they represent you. Let me give you a very good example. Just some days, like when I see some posts on some pages, I'm moved to comment like you didn't think before you post this thing, but then I think about it. Like, I might make this comment now, and next 3 years, somebody will come and say, I bullied somebody. So you have to be very, very careful the way you interact with people online. You have to be careful how you present yourself, not even online, like physically, in physical spaces. How do you talk to people? How do you relate with people and, have conversations with people? Is very important. It says a lot about you and who you are, right? And also, the last one I'm going to talk about is invest in your growth. I cannot even overemphasize this. And I think I was telling a friend 2 days ago that I'm probably going to do like a trend for like my generation, or like people of my age, because these days I see some things like maybe people are applying for things and they are trying to tell you to write like 50 words to just introduce yourself, and people will just write, my name is Bola, I'm passionate. Okay, you are passionate. I'm also passionate. Okay, what should we now do with your passion? Do you understand? So you need to grow. And there's some basic skills, like very basic skills. And I am so aware. I am aware, like I went to a federal university, University of Lagos. I am aware that there are some things that they don't teach us in school. And it's the truth. Nobody will sit you down in school to teach you how to use Excel. Nobody will sit you down to teach you how to use Microsoft Word or Google Doc. Nobody will sit you down to teach you how to use PowerPoint. We had to learn it, because if you don't learn it, nobody will do it for us. So things like this they are basic things, because you're going to be interacting with people. How do you introduce yourself? How do you tell people about what you're doing? When you're applying for things, do you just tell them that you have passion? But passion is not enough. Everyone has passion for one. In fact, people have passion for negative things. So passion is not just enough. You also need to build capacity. And it's very important, because, in my generation, I keep saying my generation because I'm quite particular about it. people are being swayed away with the fact that we'll rough it. There's one slang that we used to use. I can't remember, but like we'll rough it, that kind of thing. It go be, but it no go be. Or like if you step out, like outside the world is a different ball game. Trust me, it is not the same thing. It is when you finish school, for people who are in school, that you now realize that, oh, like there are some skills I need to get, and if I don't get them, I might not be able to properly function in particular spaces. Do you understand? So if people are asking you to introduce yourself and maybe the first time you messed up, what did you do to correct that? Did you go online to search templates on how I can introduce myself? How can I talk to people? How can I, boost my confidence? See, growth does not drop on your laps, right? Growth is intentional. You have to deliberately make effort to increase your capacity and also build your competency. It is very important. So don't just leave your growth for, anyhow the thing goes, it goes like that, right? It is very important that you are intentional about your growth. This is what you want to do. Let me say you are studying law. Okay, I'm in school now. Okay, what do I need to do? I like this particular field, maybe environmental law or entertainment law. How are you trying to make sure that you are understanding the basics of what you want to do or the things that you've admired? It's one thing to admire something, it's one thing to want to be like something, but can you put in the work behind the old glamour, behind the old beauty that you see outside? Because I tell people, my Instagram page is nice. I keep making reference to my Instagram page because, yeah, I'm quite, active there. It's nice and everything, but what if I tell you right now that I've not had sleep since yesterday night? Like I've not slept. My glasses are helping me anyways. I've been working seriously. But yeah, nobody's going to know that one. But in my results, when I'm up on that stage, it is Temilade Salami, and there's no other Temilade Salami. So when I'm speaking, my results will speak for me, right? When I'm talking, when I'm making, when I'm having conversations with people will know that this thing, they did not gel it together. There's work behind the scene. So you need to be very deliberate about the work that you do. And let me tell you, there might be 4 people doing the same thing, but what makes them different is the kind of work and the inputs that they put, right? So it's very important that you deliberately make efforts to grow. You attend conference. Okay, after the conference, what am I going to do? Who am I going to network with? And sometimes networking is not even maybe from somebody that is, networking is not like way up. Sometimes it's even like somebody on your level. Who are the people on this call that you want to connect with? Can we partner together? Can we grow business together? What can we do together? How can we, make the next conference better? I attended this conference. How can I volunteer the next time to make sure that I'm part of something this big? Always think giving, always think beyond where you are. And let me tell you, like, I'm currently studying in the UK for my master's, and I must tell you that so many things are so different. Like, it is not now Temi in Nigeria, it's now Temi here, mixing with different people from different parts of the world. The way you'll be relating with people is different, right? Because these are not Nigerians that, I can say one slang and everybody understands. Sometimes you even have to like tame your tongue so that they don't think that you are, insulting them or you are saying things that are bad to them. It also shows you communication skills, because there are other people that would come into spaces like that and then they are thrown off balance and they don't know how to speak to people, how to relate to people from diverse backgrounds. So all these things are learned. So it's not like, it just happened. Like, it doesn't happen. You have to learn it. Maybe through mistakes. It happened one time. Somebody told you, don't talk to me like that. You now go back at home. You go back home. You say, how did I talk to this person? Why didn't she like it? Okay, I'm going to adjust next time. Maybe the lady doesn't want you to hug her. I'm just giving you examples. Next time I'll just maybe shake her or just say hi from you. It doesn't just, because if you don't think the process through, you're going to repeat that thing again. So you need to invest in yourself, invest in your growth. And I'm not saying you go and buy many online courses, because this was like the surge that happened last 2 years. It's one thing to buy online courses, another thing to actually read and implement. So if it's one thing, you've seen one thing that you want to learn this year, take it and build on it. If you are cutting a tree, like the popular adage that they always say, if you are using an axe to cut a tree, one point, you'll finish than somebody who is cutting the tree, point A, point B, point C, right? So you hit it, keep building up on it so that you can get something substantial. Like I said, growth does not drop on your laps. It is intentional. If you've seen anybody doing well, genuinely, now I'm not talking about people that just come out from anywhere and you can't even trace. They don't have track record. I'm talking about people who you've literally seen them grow. Trust me, they've put in a lot of work. They might not come out to say, okay, like nobody will know that I've not slept since yesterday and I'm still on this call. I have to show up because I made commitment. I actually slept like 1 hour ago. And then I just woke up. I'm like, I hope I've not missed this thing, right? So you need to be committed. Do you understand? You need to be very, very committed. If you want to be different, you have to do things differently. It's very important. So what separates you from the crowd is the effort you put in behind the scene. So that when you now finally get to that spotlight, you don't mess up the opportunity that is being given to you. So imagine that you get invited to an international stage as a singer, but like back at home, you've not been rehearsing, you think it's just your local singing, local champion kind of lifestyle. And then somebody now finally gives you an opportunity, free opportunity. I'll buy your ticket, I'll fly you out. I just want you to come and sing, come and perform at this concert. And then you go there, you can't deliver because you've not made effort, you've not grown behind the scene. And now it's better to mess up behind the scene than to mess up in spotlight too. I hope that you guys know, because it's very important that at every given opportunity, you show out and you show yourself. And now I'm not saying like pride, but like let people know that you put in the work and this is the result. And please don't be afraid to tell your story. If you've achieved something, for example, like people on LinkedIn say, oh, like young people, when I ask them why they are not on LinkedIn, I'm not active on LinkedIn also, but once in a while I just pop in, drop my stuff. People say, oh, like people they are always oppressing, but who is oppressing you? Nobody's oppressing you, right? Even if it's one small thing you've done, you to post your own, build your track record so that in the next 10 years, you can always go back to say, this was where I was. Oh. Because if you don't have proof for growth, you won't know that you are growing, right? If you don't have proof for growth, you won't know you are growing. So you're not even documenting your processes. You are just living life as life comes. What will be, will be. In this place, there's nothing like what will be. You need to set the tone of life, set the course of life. It is what you put in that you will get, right? So if somebody is sleeping all their lives, not doing anything, you can't expect the same result with somebody who is putting in effort. You're a singer, you're not going for rehearsals. There's somebody who is rehearsing like 3 times in a week. No, it's not. Even if you have the best talent, like God made you a singer naturally, let me tell you, the person who is going for rehearsals every time will outdo you. And people talk about natural talent a lot. This is my God-given ability. But even with a God-given ability, God wants you to build capacity. He wants you to build on it so that when the opportunity comes for you to now represent him, you'll not mess up, right? So it's very important that you have excellence in you. It is very important, right? So I think that with this few points of mine, I've been able to like share a few things with you on how to leverage your uniqueness as a leader.
Wow, I'm amazed. I don't know about, I know everybody's like is feeling the same way. This was an insightful and impactful and eye-opening, and it was most important, it was very relatable. It was something that we actually need to, was something that we actually needed at this point. So I don't know, if you could see my heart, you see how excited I am to actually be in this conference. So thank you so much, Ma. So right now, I'll be taking questions. If you have any questions for Temilade, Salami, please ask your questions because you can relate to a lot of things that we're actually facing as millennials and Gen Z. So please ask your questions. We just take, I think we have a lot of time, not so much, but we have a level of time. So please ask questions in the comment section or unmute and ask, please.
Please unmute. I want to hear you people's voice.
Okay, my since nobody's asked now, I'll ask my question first. You mentioned a lot about you pushing your documenting your process, showing your track record. So how would you, sometimes it's very, very difficult to be consistent on this platform. There are times where you're like, I'm tired, I'm not doing again, like this thing is stressful. How do you stay consistent? How do passion is not enough, like you said. Like when you said that thing, I was like, oh, talk to me directly. Hey God, you are shaking tables. But so how will you build that consistency and that drive? Because there's sometimes that you don't just feel like going on, like you are spent, and then it looks as if your efforts are not actually yielding anything substantial. How do you maintain consistency and still continue pushing?
Thank you so much. So let me start from this point. I did not feel like coming on this call because my boss carried me past my bus stop to show you how exhausted I was. But did I show up? If I didn't show up, you will not hear me talk, right? And I will come back to say, I'm sorry. You people will not arrest me, but it shows you that I'm committed. See, sometimes when you post or when you document, and when I say post, I'm not saying like go and share your life on Instagram. That's not my point. You can build, your professional track record on LinkedIn. And if you have multiple platforms, you can make one post on Instagram, divert everything to Twitter, divert to LinkedIn, same post, but take it to LinkedIn so that you don't have to write another post. Now, when you're talking about commitment and being consistent on these platforms, let me tell you, social media can be exhausting. It is very exhausting. But if you're looking to build online presence, now when I say online presence, it is important. I'm not saying influencer status. It is important, especially if you're looking to grow in some particular professional field where before they even ask you any question, they're already asking you, what's your Instagram handle? What's your Twitter handle? So that they want to go and see the works that you've done. Do you understand? So you know, it's not every day that you feel like doing things. There are some days that for people who are doing 9 to 5, it's every day you feel like going to work. But if you don't go to work, there's problem. So it's more of commitment than motivation. Because if you wait for yourself to be motivated, you will not even do a lot of things. Like right now, I just want to sleep, be pampered, and not think about life. Be that child again that I won't have to think about what next to eat. Somebody will come and serve me food. That's the kind of soft life I want to live, right? But this is the reality. I have to show up because I have made the commitment. And also, like, this shows you that it's very important. Like, if I don't see it on this call, you wouldn't know that, like, all those things happen, like, hours before now. But you've seen that I've showed up. That's the same thing that will happen. People that want to come and check your professional background, people that want to check your professional, I call it professional online CV. They won't know if you've not slept for 24 hours, but at least you've delivered, right? You've delivered. And the thing is, you don't know, like one post or one moment of putting yourself out there can bring you a lot of opportunities. I did poetry at the United Nations Climate Conference that I held in Glasgow. That was in November. It was through my Instagram that the person saw that I was doing poetry, then asked that, am I willing to, do poetry at this event? And I'm like, okay, no problem. Let's do this. Do you understand? So it's very, very important that you show up. Commitment over motivation, like Oluwatobi said, it's not every day that you be feeling. See, in fact, left to me, I just want to sleep and enjoy, like just sing to Jesus and just worship and just be doing that 24 hours till Jesus comes. But this is the life we signed up for. So you need to show up, right? Because if you don't, I always say this thing, we don't understand that sometimes our decisions have ripple effects. Very important. If you don't imagine I did not come on this call today. Do you know how many people I would have deprived of information that they are supposed to get? So if you do not show up, don't think about yourself. And that's one thing I always say. Don't always think me. think about the things that will happen if you do not show up, if you do not come for, if you not go for a meeting. What's going to happen? What is at stake? What is the big thing at stake? Imagine your mommy, when you were young, your mommy did not go to work, said, I don't feel like going to work. No school fees. What will happen? You won't go to school. You will not be educated. Ripple effects that will have effect on somebody's life for years. So don't always think about yourself, right? Always think about what's in this thing for another person. Will somebody, I've made posts on Instagram and on WhatsApp, and I'm just saying this with all humility and glory to God. And people, this is not even the first time, second time. And people come to say, I wanted to commit suicide, I did not commit suicide. It's just a post. So imagine you did not make the post. Yeah, God might have sent another person, but at that time, I'm privileged to have been used by God. Do you understand? So it is very important that you don't always think you think about, okay, if I don't do this thing, what's going to suffer? Who is going to be affected? So I hope you get it. It's not every time you feel like showing up, but you show up for the sake of showing up and then, building yourself up. So very, very, very important.
Yes, Ma, you answered my question. Thank you so much, ma'am. Is there any other question before we move on?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
You have the
so ma,
floor.
okay, here is my question, ma. What if you are so good, you are good at so many things, and you, for instance, decide to drop one of those things to focus more? But now people are saying, why did you drop this one? Oh, we like this one you're doing, no. But your spirit is telling you that this is not what I feel like doing, this is not what, but now everybody is saying that one you dropped is the one that they feel. For instance, I like singing. I prefer singing to rapping. But everybody like me rapping, and I don't know why. So,
Okay. I think I understand you. So let me give you a very good example. I do poetry. In fact, my Instagram handle was Temi the Poet. And then I thought I have moved past that identity. I'm now a powerhouse. I'm Temilade Salami. The poetry comes under me. Do you understand? So people will talk, people will ask you. Sometimes they're not talking because they hate you. Like, I even feel like people who are asking you to keep doing something, they are very interested in you and they like you, they want you to grow. But I would choose personal conviction that comes from God to crowd cheering. There are so many things I can do. And if I had followed, tell me, do this. The way it is in African homes, once you know book, you are going to science class. Am I right? If you can sing, they tell you
Very
to
correct, ma'am. Medicine to
tell
be
you to go
precise.
to arts class, right? So many people have been to different classes and regions that they are not supposed to go. The people who now finish school and now start doing the things that they want to do. And me, I'm not blaming any of our parents, right? They acted based on the level of knowledge that they had that time and that was available to them. Do you understand? So people will always talk. In fact, for every day of your life, there's always somebody trying to tell you to do something. Sometimes it's not even your career. There's somebody always trying to tell you, don't wear this black clothes. It's not fine. But you like the clothes, right? So it's not, sometimes you have to, let me tell you something. One of the things that helped me in this life is making decisions without having to consult many people. See, if you get to that point where you and Holy Spirit, like you are like this, and you know that, okay, I've prayed though, and this is what God says, trust me, any other thing that anybody says is just addition or sometimes subtraction. Some of them say you have to divide them and remove them from the equation. Do you understand? Now I'm making rhymes like you, a rapper. So you need to be able to make decisions. I mean, like, make decisions on your own and not have to consult so many people. Do you think I should still be rapping? Don't ask them. You just keep doing what you're supposed to do if you know that this conviction is from God. Do you understand? So from what I hear you say, right, it is very important that you follow, I won't say follow your heart, because your heart can be deceiving you small, but follow what God has told you to do. In the next 3 years, some of these people that are telling you keep rapping, they will not be there. Or like, they might not even buy your CD, or there's no CD, like they might not buy your music. I'm just saying, like, in general. So pick personal conviction through God than crowd cheering is very, very important. people always have opinion. People will always tell you what to do in this life. In as much as you're alive, there's somebody, sometimes they don't even know, like they are even their knowledge base, they don't know, but they want you to do it sometimes to project who they think you should be. Do you understand? So you look fine, they'll say go for modeling, but the fact that I'm beautiful doesn't mean I should go and model. Do you understand? So you need to always, for every information you get out there, in fact, you should not even be getting too many information out there. Once I've set my heart to do something and God has said, stamp it, yes, you can go on. If 1 million people like, I mean, regardless of anybody anyway, if it is God who has said it, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get through it without thinking about what people think. Because sometimes people like the idea of what you do. Do you understand? They want to see you in one particular light. Do you understand? So it's very important. I'll just say this last thing to answer your question. So I saw it on somebody's story that the person met Fouls, like anytime Fouls the bad guy, like we call him, the way he talks, like the way he used to make his jokes. He says that anytime he meets people outside, like he would sometimes going out to go and eat too, people would touch him and tell him that he would say hi to them. They'll not say, no, talk to me in that voice that we are familiar with. You will know that Fouls voice now. And then he laughs. He's like, you people, I just said hi, just take hi and go. So it shows you that people are familiar with one part of you that they don't want to let go. It excites them. But see, you need to move past that in life. Oh. Do you understand? You need to be able to make as in very crazy decisions. When I say crazy decisions that you say, after you've made it, you now suddenly say, God, now my life is in your hands. Is either it works or it doesn't work. It's on you, God. Do you understand? So
okay, thank you so much, Ma. That was, you answered the question and touched a lot of lives. So, Ma, because of time, can people actually reach out to you privately to send their questions? I'm sure that a lot of people have questions for you. I don't know if they can reach out to you on your
yeah,
Instagram
you can send me a message on Instagram.
Okay.
I actually respond to my Instagram really fast. Like I clear my DMs almost every time. But if I don't respond this night, just know that I have slept. You might see my updates, but I am working. Do you get? So
Okay.
please.
Okay, Ma.
So this night and tomorrow, yeah.
Please just drop your question for Temilade Salami on our Instagram, please. And then I'll be calling on the president of Leader Sports to just give us the vote of thanks.
That's my Instagram handle.
Okay. The Instagram handle is in the chat box, so please do well to follow her right now and ask your questions before it's too late. Okay, Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Precious. I'm sure we can hear me from our ends.
Yes, sir, we can hear you loud and clear.
Temilade Salami, we really appreciate you for the session tonight. I think you just broke all the tables in the world. you broke all the tables in the world because there were so many things that there were so many tables we were maybe sitting on, and you really broke them. And I'm sure we all got value for the time spent so far. So we really appreciate you. Leaders, please use the chat box. Let's appreciate Ms. Temilade Salami. She's been amazing. I really enjoyed this session. I love your originality. I think someone said that too in the chat box. Like you were very original. I love the fact that you use your Nigerianness, if I'll put it that way. You use slangs that we could relate to it. And you're not all posh on us because you're now in the UK. Okay, so
funny. It's fine, yeah.
I love
You
that
have to
fact.
always
And
speak the language your audience understands.
yeah. So thank you very much again. And our leaders will reach out to you if they have further questions on your Instagram handle. And we really appreciate you. I really appreciate you for doing this free of charge. Also, we appreciate you. We
It's fine.
really appreciate you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I also saw Larry Shipper earlier. I think he has left the call. Please send our regards to him.
He's always on my calls. Always. I will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Precious, you can.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma, for your time. It was indeed value for our time, more than value for our time. So we'd like to close this session. Thank you so much, Ma. I personally love you already. Thank you so much. So now we can all leave the meeting. And please don't forget to ask your questions. It's very, very important. Ma, have a wonderful night first. Ensure you sleep and rest well.
I'm gonna sleep. Thank you guys, and see you
bye
at
now.
the top. Take care, and thanks to Leaders Fort Company for putting this together. Trust me, this is really good. All your speakers, like at least I know like half of them, really good, really, really good. Well done. All right.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am.
Bye.